Got a fun one for you today. We are going to be creating a Christmas piece with the Grinch holding an ornament. And I found that this works best on black paper. So that's what I've got here. And we're going to start with the ornament. And there's lots of different things that you can do with your ornament. But I'm gonna show you just a basic one to start with. And for my ornament is going to be red. And so I've chosen 2 shades of red, and I've also got a pink and a white. These are the colors I'm going to use for my ornament, and I'll show you how we're going to use those to blend it together and create some shading. So to start with, I'm going to, on the lower half or third, 2/3 maybe of my page, maybe the lower half, I'm going to draw a circle with my normal red, just my plain red. And the nice thing about this is if your circle doesn't look perfect to start with, you can kind of change it a little bit going along the outsides of it, because you're going to be filling it all in anyway. So the next step is to fill it in completely with one light shade of your medium red color. So I'm going to start with that right there. Then I am going to, again, picture where the light is coming from. And I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that there's kind of a light area right here already. So I'm going to use that as where my light is going to be hitting. So I'm going to go on the opposite side of that with my darker red and get a little bit more dark color over here. And I'm looking at this not thinking it's not quite dark enough. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the opposite on the color wheel to this. The complementary to red is green. So I'm going to take a green. Let me put a little more red in here first. And then I'm going to take a green and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Notice I'm creating kind of a moon shape, a crescent moon shape here at towards the bottom. I'm going to go over that same shape that I just created with my green. When you use the complementary color to something, you get a darker shade of that color. So that's why I'm using the green. And it should give me what I want here. Darker shade of red. And if it's going too dark, then you can go over it again with your red, which I will probably do, but not quite yet. Okay, then this shiny spot that I want, I'm just going to use my white for that. And so I'm going to create kind of this shiny spot where the light is hitting right on it. Then I'm going to go over the whole thing with my medium red again, making sure I fill in all those spaces. And I'm just going to go along the edges of my shiny spot because I want that to stand out really well. Making sure that I'm keeping my round shape. And remember, when you're using pastel, that you never want to brush across the piece because that will smear your color. So if there's a little chunk, I pick it up either with my fingernail or you can tap the paper up on its end to get rid of that. So I'm going to go back over my dark area now, trying to blend that green in a little bit so that it doesn't show as green. It's okay if it's green because it could be a reflection of the Grinch's hand, which is what we're going to have here in a little bit. Or you can just go over the whole thing again and make it all blend together. Gonna make that part a little more shiny. Okay, so there's kind of my basic ornament. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a gold or a silver that I've got. We've got both gold and silver, so you can choose. Also, you can choose what color your ornament is. It does not have to be red. I chose red, but ornaments come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. So you can decide as long as you're getting that shading and highlights in. So I'm gonna create my little bauble here, the part that hooks the hook to it so that you can hang it up. And I like to kind of create a little bit of a zigzag here at the bottom, just to give it a little something something. Now when you're coloring this in, if you do all of your strokes up and down, it actually creates a texture on the bauble. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fill the top in as well. And I'm gonna add a hook to that top. And you know what, I'm actually gonna go in and add just a little bit, because this is gonna be shining, we're gonna see some of that red from the, from the ornament shining through. So I put a little bit of that on there, and then I'm gonna go back over it with my silver to blend that in so that we just have that little bit of reflection from the ornament. And then I'm gonna take my white, and I'm just kind of rubbing it off a little bit because I don't want all that red on there. And I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight over on this side and also on this side of the top, because that's going to be a little bit shinier. Then I'm going to go over it again with for my hook. So I have my main part of my hook. Then I'm going to go through my hook, and I'm going to create my little hook to hang it on the tree, or for the Grinch to be holding, which is what I'm going to do next. So for the Grinch's hand, I like to start with a curve against this side of the hook and a curve against this side of the hook. Okay. Then one of these curves is going to be his thumb, and one of them is going to be his pointer finger. So he's holding it like this. This is kind of what we're going for. Okay, however you want to look. He's holding it like this. So we're going to have his fingers splayed out like this. So here we go. You could even use your own hand as an example. And his fingers are really furry, so it actually comes out further than maybe yours might. So, and I'm going to kind of create just a little shape because I'm creating this shape right here. And then the thumb or the pointer finger, whichever way you're putting it. Okay. And then I'm going to take his hand off to the edge of this side of the paper, and into his fingers splayed out. And you notice I keep looking at my hand here, trying to see how would that look. And I want those fluffy ends of my fingers, or of the Grinch's fingers. Okay, my knuckle comes up over here, and I'm going to come all the way back over here, and then add those other two fingers. One more. There we go. Okay, so I have my basic hand down. Now I've got my medium colored green. Remember, I've got 3 greens here. So I'm using my medium one first, and I'm going to go over my entire hand with that medium green. Lightly. I'm not trying to... And actually, I'm going to do it in little hairy motions, actually, is what I'm going to do to create some texture. So if you take a shortcut and color it all in, you're not going to get the texture as good, but it would still work. So I'm going to finish adding the texture here, and then I'm actually going to do the same thing with both of my other 2 green colors, and then I'll be right back with you. So now I'm going to use a dark green and a white to add some highlights and some shadows. So watch carefully. Okay. There we go. We have the Grinch holding his ornament. I'm going to sign it and it's done, and then it's your turn.